Hi everyone, hope you're having a good Sunday. I'm Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Marcus Bagwell, just getting things updated here in the Storm Center as we get set for some gusty thunderstorms late this evening. The rest of your evening plans are just fine here in East Texas. It's really going to be overnight tonight that we have that storm threat. Let me give you an update. This was as of about 3:40 on the record time of this video. Look at our temperatures. Don't you feel the humidity outside today? It is very warm and muggy, upper 80s and low 90s, and a very strong southerly wind that we've seen here in East Texas for us this afternoon. I want to take you to the bigger picture and what we're keeping an eye on. Our focus is really all along this dry line that's located near this cold front, and ahead of it, we're seeing the instability begin to pick up a bit more. And it's going to be along the dry line that storms are going to initiate first. Let me give you a look at what the radar is indicating. Radar is indicating just some scattered showers and thunderstorms, mainly into the Texas Panhandle, but you notice the upper air lines. This represents the wind in the upper airs of the upper levels of the atmosphere. You can notice here there's not much happening just off to the east, but this is helping to provide the large-scale energy that's going to be leading to some strong thunderstorms that will form back in portions of West Oklahoma near Texoma, moving up into the OKC metro, and eventually a line will form and gradually move toward East Texas, and that's what we are going to keep an eye on closely here. Notice that the Storm Prediction Center has an enhanced risk and a moderate risk all the way up into the OKC area. The moderate risk does not include any of our East Texas counties. However, in orange, the enhanced risk does cover extreme sections of Hopkins County and back into Rains County, and then a slight risk of some strong to severe storms pretty much along I-20 coming all the way down toward 155 into Palestine. Here's the overall focus. As the storms work their way to the east, they're going to gradually begin to lose their punch and begin to weaken as we go into the overnight. But our primary concern will be for some wind gusts and hail, and an isolated tornado is possible, mainly north of Interstate 20, and that's exactly what we will need to keep an eye on. Let me walk you through what a couple of our computer models will indicate for us here. This is going to be the high resolution model. This model will update hourly and give us a accurate, I shouldn't say inaccurate, but give us a more finer resolution detail on the expectation of storms. So let's go forward in time. Again, the next several hours here in East Texas, no problems at all. It's storms that are really starting to develop, and some of these are discrete and very intense, perhaps producing hail and possible tornadoes back near the OKC metro, back toward Texoma. So that's the region that we're going to keep an eye on. But watch what happens with time. We get to about 7 o'clock. Notice here how a line of storms are beginning to develop a bit more and work their way out west of Interstate 35. Again, here in East Texas, no concerns for us, again, through most of the evening. Let's go to about 10 o'clock. We get to about 10 o'clock here. Storms are moving through the Metroplex, and we will have activity on the radar. When we see you tonight after the Sunday night football game, we will be tracking these storms, and as they begin to move in, they will likely be severe. So I would anticipate at least a weather watch in place for portions of East Texas, especially north of Highway 31. Then we get to about 11 o'clock. Between the 11 and the midnight period, there you can notice that line of storms moving in. Still, gusty winds are very possible. You can't rule out an isolated tornado along the leading edge of this line either. But as it continues to move in, it's going to gradually begin to weaken. Still looking at some heavier rainfall likely here in East Texas. The greatest severe threat probably going to uphold itself, especially to the northeast, but if we're still very humid and unstable in our deep East Texas counties, some of these storms here could be on the strong side too. We fast forward in time heading into early on Monday morning, still looking at some additional gusty thunderstorms. So this is going to be a pretty long night for us and a long night for you as well as we track the storms. They're not going to eventually clear until just before daybreak on Monday morning. Notice by 5, 6, 7, they are finally off to the east, and we should get a west-northwest wind as this cold front technically moves in, but we're really not going to see much in the way of drier air. So that's the HRRR model. Let me show you the model that you see on our East Texas Storm Team app. We'll call it the KETK model. Okay, and we'll go back up to the north and northwest. And notice how storms really begin to blossom back in southwest Oklahoma. And that will gradually go with time. There's 6 o'clock there. No problems for us. We just have a lot of clouds and very muggy evening expected. Okay, keep going in time. There we go with 8 o'clock. Again, majority of the most significant severe storms are in Oklahoma, but there's a line beginning to form back out into the Metroplex. There's 10 o'clock. And for once, we actually have similar timings between the HRRR model and our KATK model. So that certainly works in our favor that the models maybe tend to agree on this storm timing. And there we go, getting into about the midnight period for us. This line of storms beginning to move in. Notice as the line moves in, kind of give you a different look here, kind of similar to what the HRRR was showing with that reflectivity, with the precipitation look. There you can notice it there. The storms are perhaps not as strong, but I think they're going to be pretty potent though. Gusty winds still our big threat as the line moves in. Weakening a bit more in deep East Texas perhaps, but still holding strength up into the Arklatex, and then gradually beginning to pull away and letting up as we get toward tomorrow morning, Monday morning, around 7 a.m. So our time frame for tonight is really going to be, say, from as early as 10 o'clock, most likely beginning around midnight for some of us, lasting until about 5 to 7 a.m. on Monday morning. Severe threats really haven't changed much. I totally agree with what meteorologist Andrew Salmon had yesterday and what I showed you on Friday. Heavy rain, top concern with any of our storms that we see. We need the rainfall. Damaging wind gusts will be our top severe threat. Hail and tornadoes are low, but they cannot be ruled out. So we will watch for that very closely. Make sure that you have our East Texas Storm Team app. So important to have that as we go into the overnight hours. Love, love, love our Storm Team app. And especially when you get notified of those storm alerts, those are going to come in handy. So make sure that you download this app. That way you have it, and that way you can get weather information. Also, if you have a NOAA weather radio, make sure it is charged up and ready to go, and we'll be keeping an eye on those storms very closely. I just want to show you real quick, Futurecast, the exact same thing that I just showed you. Let me go forward in time. Okay. So the exact same thing I just showed you with Futurecast on the KATK model is going to be the same one that you're going to see right here in the app. Okay, great app to have. Utilize it. Get those custom alerts turned on for you. That way you can be safe. All right, update for you live at 5 o'clock on KATK. We plan to be on at 9 o'clock tonight on Fox, and then we're after the game on KATK after the Sunday night football game. All right, have a good afternoon. Stay safe. We'll be here to keep you up to date and get you through the storm.